go. Let's now get into our Drive Safe campaign, brought to us by Joy News and the Multimedia Group, and supported by Toyota. Superior quality, Imperial General Assurance, solid protection. So you know what to do. Avoid all distractions. Keep both eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. Please, if you're tired, don't drive. Rest and then continue when you are refreshed. Because look, driving to work this morning, I saw this truck moving in and out of its lane. Clearly, you can see this was a driver dozing or sleeping. Please, if you're tired, rest. Don't put your own life and others in danger. And that's how you drive safe. Let's learn how to say it right. Brought to us by Kingdom Books. At Kingdom, quality and affordability are their hallmarks. And SG Bank Ghana, the future is you.
Something must be done.
You say either.
It's good to be back. Honestly, it feels like coming home every time I set foot in this building. Now, I'm sure you noticed that I said set foot. Oftentimes people say step foot instead. That is not correct. The right verb is set, not step. You set your foot in a place. You don't step your foot. You could step into a place, that is correct, but you mustn't add foot when you say step. Foot goes with set. Remember that if you want to say it right.
All right, so welcome back. That's how you say it right. Time now for the newspaper review. It's brought to us by First Atlantic Bank, refreshingly different. And I'm joined by Elton John Brobbey. Elton, good morning.
Good morning, Winston.
How's it going?
It's been good.
Well, it's Friday.
Of course.
We love Fridays.
Yeah, we do.
Yes,
They're thinking that the next 2 days is going to be, days for relaxation. Actually gives you some.
You sleep very well on Saturday.
Yeah, something. But unfortunately, I'm working this weekend, so.
Oh, you're working this weekend.
Yeah.
I have few deadlines to meet, so it may not be a very free weekend for me, but I'll try.
But do you rest on the weekend at all? Every weekend you're on the road.
I've been around for the past 3 weekends. I've been around. I haven't been anywhere. This one. If my wife hears you, she'll say, "Tell him." I've been around over the past 3 weekends. I haven't been anywhere. The whole of May I've been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with the daily guide. IMF proud to partner Ghana. So yesterday the big news or the big announcement was made, and this morning we are expecting $604 million to hit the Bank of Ghana account. Now subsequent releases will depend on how we'll be able to meet some conditions that have been set. So we have a long way to go. The finance minister says that he's expecting almost $10.1 billion from other partners, the World Bank, the Africa Development Bank, because we've got $5 billion deficit to fill.
Yeah, over $4 billion.
$4 billion.
Balance of payment gap. But you see, that's for me. Look, even when it comes to the other conditionalities that we must meet before we get the money, I've been reading the document. What I'm going to do over the weekend, when I get time, probably on Sunday, is to now begin to write one by one
the conditions,
all the conditions that we must fulfill going forward. But I look at it, and I look at, for instance, government having to limit wage increase and hiring. Government would have to increase personal income tax. Government would have to phase out tax holidays. And already you hear businesses complaining. When it comes to the exemption regime, yes, VAT exemptions and tax exemptions here and there, I think it's a conversation we've had that's something that is being abused. So the law that has actually been passed will seek to, curb the abuse of it. But going forward, all the things that we want to put in place, yes, we know that it's time to reset our economy. But in resetting our economy, you have a program that is based significantly on revenue increases.
Right.
Significantly.
Right.
We must reduce statutory funds. So what statutory funds are going to be affected? All of these things. I look at it and I'm like, look, how about also, yes, you'd have to make a decision whether you want to reduce your expenditure, cut down on your expenditure, or you increase your revenue. We have gone for an increase in revenue. That means more taxes.
Yeah, more taxes. And the sad aspect of this more taxes issue is the fact that the burden is on the few.
Yeah.
I mean, I have been paying income taxes for years that I've been working.
Yeah.
I don't even, I mean, by the time my salary hits my account, every deduction has been made.
Yeah.
And so I don't even get to see. And so I've been consistent in the paying of my taxes. Now I'm going to be burdened more with the paying of more taxes. So paying of taxes appears to be on the shoulders of few people. And instead of expanding it, bringing in more people, I mean, covering people who are not paying, dealing with tax holidays and all those issues, it looks like the burden is still going to be on the few who've been consistent in the payment of these taxes.
Exactly. And you see, one of the things that we've talked about when it comes to the payment of compliance, we've talked about compliance, we've talked about widening the net. But you see, this is the other point. When your taxes are very high, when the rates are very high, people find ways of avoiding it.
Absolutely.
People will find ways of avoiding it. And it's part of the reason the NPP in opposition said that they're going to move the country away from taxation to production. Now, what would happen is that once I produce and I increase my profits, I would pay more taxes. But even when, so let's say we reduce corporate income taxes. Now, I get more savings, I increase my production, I make more profits, then I get to pay more because I have made more profit. And all the things that I probably would have done, all the big bath accounting, all the transfer pricing, and everything that would help me to avoid the payment of taxes, I no longer would do them because I feel, well, this is not much.
Right.
Anyway, let's move on.
Well, let's see how the coming days will be, because clearly the thing is beginning to bite. Now, this morning, PRC has increased tariff for water. Yesterday was electricity. And the thinking is that there's going to be the quarterly review. Government appears to have lost the plot because there was some kind of pressure on PRC to suspend the recent increase, but it didn't happen. So on the guide, Bawumia campaign he's up, and the source says an exciting development within the political landscape of the MPP flag. We are hopeful Vice President Dr. Muhammad Bawumia has embarked on a nationwide tour consulting and engaging with the party's 16 regional executive committee ahead of the MPP's presidential primaries. The move is widely seen as an attempt to garner support and gather momentum as he prepares to declare his intention to contest the presidential primaries of the MPP. The Vice President, according to credible sources, will make official declaration about his intention to lead a governing MPP next week before the party opens nomination for the flag bearership contest on May 26th. So, clearly, the Vice President is not cooling down and is bent on, contesting. I understand that Dr. Fiyakuto is also campaigning in the voter region, and so are the other presidential hopefuls.
Dr. Joseph Fiyakuto?
Yes.
He's still in the race?
Yes, still in the race, and actually campaigning in the voter region.
Oh, okay. And yes, I know that the Vice President had consulted, members of Parliament. It's interesting how politicians, find nice ways of campaigning. But of course, we all know that a Vice President will contest. You've seen Next to Lead, Best to Lead, DMB, that's Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now you've seen BMW. BMW is a group. And you've even seen some members of Parliament, for instance. One of those who've been, very obvious is the Majority Chief Whip, Frank Anodompro, who supports Dr. Bawumia. The Majority Leader also thinks that it's time to have Dr. Bawumia as the flag bearer of the NPP. They've made a lot of reasons here. They've given a lot of reasons here and there. People have raised a few questions. Now, he's chairman of the economic management team and expected to assist the president. Now, the president, in campaigning for election, said he was bringing Bawumia because of his expertise in the economy. Now that we're going through challenges, I'm just asking a question. Isn't it time rather that, the Vice President will be very close to the President and the Economic Management Team and the Ministry of Finance, because this is the time that we'll need his expertise the most. Look, see, Elton, he's been AFB country director, I think, for Zimbabwe. So this is somebody who's been deputy governor before. So his knowledge of the economy is not in doubt. And now that we're going through these challenges, I think it's time that Dr. Bawumia, would get very close to the president, the finance minister, and the economic management team, and ensure that we bounce back.
We bounce back.
Yeah, we bounce back.
Well, I believe that a lot of questions will be asked of him. I mean, the state of the economy as we have now is a classic question that will be asked of him. Whether under his leadership as chairman of the economic management team and the current state of the economy, he can still boldly step out and say that I want to lead the government when the economy is everything that we need to survive as a country. And look at the state of the economy now. Is it an indictment on his his role as chairman of the committee or as an economist? Or does it vindicate him that he's indeed the man we need going into 2025? I think this is a classic question that would demand answers.
Exactly, it would demand answers. Well, let's see. In Ghana, we say that God, decides who the president should be. If it's the will of God, whoever must win would win. We'll see.
Nana received Guinea-Bissau State Award. He was there on a state visit. Man 40 molest girl 10. Beasts out here. Iyoko chases Sim Frosters. And if you go to the back page of the Daily Guide, Right to Dream Academy acquires MLS side. So those are some of the stories in the Daily Guide of this morning.
Well, so the daily graphic for this morning says adhere strictly to IMF targets, economists to government, and rice importation will cease. Now that's according to Jospon, and I just would take you to that story briefly on how the importation of rice would cease. So the chairman of the Jospon Group, that's Dr. Joseph Sian Chapong, has vowed that with the advent of Jospon Group rice projects, the importation of rice into the country will be minimized, if not stopped. That, he said, was because wherever the Jospon Group of companies detected a problem, it was always ready to confront and solve it. He says, where we see a problem, we confront and solve it. And with this project, we have begun the importation of rice must stop. Now, he made this at a 2-day food security conference at Gomwa Fete. All of us would want to eat our local rice. I enjoy local rice all the time. It's something that I love, and I encourage all of you. Okay, I mean, we've been talking about import substitution. We've talked about our import bill and how it's put a lot of pressure on the Ghana cedi. So how about we start from our food? The Chinese have exported their foods to us. A lot of us these days would love fried rice and everything, but the good thing is that we can actually use our local rice to prepare it. Today we even see a lot of Nigerian foods in Ghana. What foods are we also, exporting out of our country, and what foods are we calling ours? We've seen the National Folklore Board indicating that they want to
Upper Pransa.
Yes, Upper Pransa. They say Upper Pransa is a proposed national food.
Who said that?
Oh, the executive director of the National Folklore Board. I did that interview right here on the Super Morning Show.
Maybe that's a view, but
no. She said that based on research, fufu's preparation is very unhygienic. Now, Banku is not eaten everywhere. When it comes to beans, a lot of old people don't like it because of gas.
Okay.
Now, kokunte is for those who are managing life cheap. So the only food left is apapransa, akpenejin, which is appreciated everywhere in the country. I don't know the last time you ate apapransa.
I don't remember, and I don't remember the last time I saw somebody eat apapransa. Apapransa has some meanings into that food. I don't want to put it on radio.
Don't put it on. But the last time I ate apapransa that was when I was in Ho, and I left Ho in 2002. So it's been 21 years.
Look at that.
I haven't had apapransa before. So I don't know how it tastes.
Maybe she's the only person who's been using apapransa.
Well, still on the front page, debt restructuring, nation seeks $10.5 billion in savings between now and 2026 as it engages its external creditors for debt restructuring. It's about some 19 to 20 billion. Ken of is talking about making that amount of savings over the next 3 years. Let's see how it goes. Nadoli Kalio, a mixture of agric and gold, is on page 16 and 17 as a center spread of the Daily Graphic. Back page, Vice President inspects Agenda 111 project in Bolgatanga East. And story by Gilbert Marley Agbe says that Vice President has inspected the construction works on Agenda 111 hospital project in Bolgatanga East District of the Upper East Region. And 4 persons behind bars, behind SIM swap fraud, wanted. They stole over 2 million cedis from bank accounts.
So you have the Finder Parliament to petition local government on behalf of Achimansa District 25 police regions to offer criminal clearance services. West East MPP Chairman rally support for Dr. Baomia. Journey to rebuild economy augmented $604 million from the IMF to hit BOG account today. LEAP school feeding others strengthened, according to the finance minister at yesterday's press briefing in the US of A. The minister for lands and natural resources says that small-scale mining fetched Ghana almost $1.2 billion in 2022. Remember that they've launched the Green Ghana initiative, the third edition, coming off next month or next week. Asantini yesterday was in full, of fire yesterday, saying that he will be visiting the Amansi area very soon to witness for himself the scale of destruction to the environment by illegal miners, and then to question the chiefs in that area whilst they've watched on for the total destruction of the environment. And then if sanctions must be applied, he will do so, and he wants government to take similar action against some of the appointees in some of these districts that illegal mining is so rampant.
I like that, Santini. See, I like that, Santini, because look, we've been talking about Domahini saying, I would not allow Galamsey here.
Right.
And people don't do it. So I like the fact that Asantini, or two before, or say to himself, is going around. And he says, any chief, where there's Galamsey in your area, it means you yourself, you have a problem. And you have questions to answer. Fantastic decision. And I entreat all chiefs to do same. That's the way to go. I mean, lawyer Kwame Jan was here the last time. He talked about how we probably should use our traditional systems, and the chiefs will play a major role in all of this.
Yeah, it's very true. So the sports segment of the Finder, Brentford striker Ivan Toney facing worldwide ban. Yeah. I'm sure that if they should probe some of the players in our Premier League, I'm sure that we'll have all of them suspended.
Well, one of my friends actually came to me one day and said that someone gave him a scoreline. He said, 3-2. This match will end 3-2. So he went, he wanted to, go and bet. Then the betting agency returned the bet that they won't accept it. The way he went for
the scoreline, yeah. And
then, you spent 500 cedis because no, they won't accept this.
In fact, there's also a video of a player whilst playing. This player will leave the pitch, and then he will give an instruction to somebody to go and bet for him with a specific scoreline in Ghana here. I mean, it is one of the reasons why Asgold is currently out of the Ghana Premier League. So, Ivan Toney, I feel sad for him, but out of almost 278 charges against him, he pleaded guilty to 238, meaning he was neck deep in the betting scam. And Asante Kotoko Nicholas Mensah handed 1-year ban. He changed his name to play for Kotoko. From a previous name that he played for Diana Stars.
Well, let's get to the online news review brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest and Goyle Good Energy. Now, myjoyonline.com this morning says they've blacklisted me over anti-gay bill. I can't even change $1 outside Ghana. That's according to Sam George. Okay. Hajia for Reuse Network to be probed in alleged $2 million romance scam. FIC and IMF bailout. We must focus on meeting targets to secure the full amount. That's according to Professor Peter Quarty. Let's see what's on citynewsroom.com this morning. IMF deal won't affect LEAP, other social protection programs. That's according to Ken Ofori-Atta. Let's now go for the BBC News, brought to us by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
For decades, we have helped businesses connect with their trade partners all over the globe. From Ghana to Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Benin, Togo, Senegal, China, Morocco, France, Netherlands, and many other countries. We have made it possible to bring Ghana to the world. We have brought small and medium businesses closer to their customers across the regions in Ghana with our SME support facilities. We have brought relief and smiles to the faces of families with our employee personal loans. With our cutting-edge technology and digital support, we take the burden of complex thinking off you, making life simple. That is who we are, as close as a partner. Bank of Africa. We are indeed the African bank with the global reach.
Shit, wahala no get breaks so.
What is it?
Some customers have left. Their mobile money payment didn't come.
What?
Avoid such payment issues with BluePay. BluePay lets you easily receive payments on your mobile device with no e-levy charges. Simply enter your customer's number and the amount to be paid on your BluePay app. The customer will receive the BluePay prompt to confirm with their PIN instantly. Customers can also pay with bank cards using the BluePay POS device. Call or WhatsApp 054-7220-2.
Drives only brand new vehicles. Latest. Before he hired me, this is what he said. Krachi, my vehicles are my investment. It is a winning, now winning, and you buy any